Welcome back. Now, one is a predominantly Sesotho Western-inspired tale of an outlaw who returns home after years on the run and finds a chance for redemption, while the other, based on a veteran member of the 28th prison gang, 40-year-old Magadies Wentzel. Now, what do these South African films have in common? Well, they're both heading to one of the largest publicly attended film festivals in the world. That's the Toronto International Film Festival next month, and we've invited lead actor in The Five Fingers for Marseilles Vuyo Dabula and the producer of The Number, Carolyn Carew, to tell us more about these films and being selected to be part of the Toronto International Film Festival. A very good morning to you too. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Now, we're going to start with you. Tell us more about this film and the inspiration behind it. What is it all about?
Well, it's just, loss of innocence. There's that theme and sort of redemption. Okay. Life happens to this young, to this young group of Africans, South Africans, and they end up, that innocence lost. Mm-hmm. So the main character, basically played by myself, Tau, does a thing to protect the group from a very, corrupt sort of official. And, he ends up actually, running, escaping, wrath of the law.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk about the character shortly, but this is the first big movie you've acted in. What does that mean to you and for the movie to be part of the Toronto Film Festival?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's good. Actually, the festival is happening on my birthday weekend.
Wow.
There's that little added sweetness to it. And I mean, Toronto Film Festival is like, I think it may just be the biggest in North America. Mm-hmm. And to play lead in a movie chosen, it's South Africa, representing South Africa. Okay. At least I get to do some. I see, these big, sports stars, representing South Africa. Sure. So at least with my craft, I get to, represent South Africa in one of the biggest festivals in the world. So it's mind blowing. It's crazy. It's my first movie. First, even the producers, I think it's their first feature film. And we're all young and, we're behind the ears, but this is, our first project, real project out in the world, rubbing shoulders with the best in the world.
It's only big things coming your way. Big things coming your way. Carolyn, what's The Number about?
Well, firstly, congrats to Five Fingers. It's fantastic. They'll be going together. It's an amazing festival. Yeah. It is. It's one of the biggest after Cannes. Mm-hmm. But essentially, it's based on a book by Johnny Steinberg, The Number. And really, it tracks the life of Magadies Wentzel, who was a high-ranking member of the 28th. And he works with it starts with him being sort of very critical within the 28th, and then one thing leads after another where he doesn't get what he needs, and then he realizes that his son on the outside is joining his ways, and then he decides he's going to work with the new warder to transform the prison. But when you come into the 28th, you come with blood, and when you leave with blood, so it's not so easy just to walk away. There's also a story of redemption, essentially. Yeah. And forgiveness.
Now, Vuyo, when you were given the script to take on the lead actor, what is it about Tau that made you decide, no, I just want to do this?
I mean, he speaks to, it's his childhood dreams, hard exterior, cowboys and, Indians. And, it was very simple for me. It seemed very fun, that I'm going to be, riding horses in the middle of... I mean, that dream is so far-fetched in little Africa, like to play in the Western. It's unbelievable.
Right.
And, for obvious reasons, because Westerns,
I'm sure you must be striking some sort of resonance with your lead actor. Are there any similarities between you and the actor?
And the character?
And Tau, yeah.
And Tau, yeah. Look, I mean, he's soft, right? Like you can pick up that innocence and kindness in his eyes. And at the same time, he's a fighter, like through and through, and that comes through, and that hard. That's what I felt about the character. That you know, I'm a little soft, but at the same time, you know, when I look at my life, I'm a hell of a fighter, you know, so I can, you know, I've stood toe to toe with like some of the best, you know, people in South Africa. And, you know, the courage that I've displayed is unbelievable. Okay. And so, you know, I looked at Tau, you know, immersed in that world of hard, you know, criminals and whatnot. Sure. And you know that he's a good kid. You know, it's all about, you know, the adult children. You know what I mean? You see the adult, but there's a, you know, there's a part of the childhood that was not fulfilled or developed because of a tragic sort of event. Sure. So, you know, you get these things coming out when you meet the character.
Sure. Yeah. Now, Carolyn, talk to us about the cast. You have renowned actors in the persons of Warren Mosemola and, of course, Muthusi Magano. Take us through them.
Well, the director, Carlo Matabani, I'm the producer. He has worked with a lot of those actors before, and he has a great rapport with them, and they have high regard for him. So he was able to get one of the, you know, get a top cast. So he had Warren, he had Muthusi, he had Presley, he had Lemo, Kevin Smith played the warder, he had Dion Lotz and a host of others, and Charlton George as well. Basically him with Munin Lee together, they cast the film. He also spent about 4 months living in Durban. We created a set in a hospital. We created a prison in a hospital, and we filmed it in KZN because we got funding from the KZN Film Commission. So part of the requirement is that you film in the province. So we did that. And we basically, he lived and he worked with ex-offenders, and we had 35 ex-offenders who were part of the set 24/7 for 6 weeks. So they were also there, and they gave great insight into the way in which the 26s, 27s, and 28s operate, and working with the actors. And they will be coming with us, 3 of them. Muthusi's coming, Warren and Prezi will be present with us in Toronto.
Great stuff. Thanks to you two for joining us.
All right.
Great chat.
Appreciate it. Thanks, bro.
All right, that was Vuyo Dabula. He is the lead actor in the South African feature film, The Five Fingers for Marseille, while Carolyn Carew, the producer, The Number. Both films are heading to the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival to be held from the 7th to the 17th of September. We'll take a short break.